Hello everybody, I'm a completely sane individual. I've had multiple stays in psychiatric hospitals and I've completely recovered. I have been horribly addicted to so many bad drugs and I've avoided them for 5 years. So I'm saying this in a completely sane, sound state of mind here. You have to be fucking crazy to be doing film in 2025, like doing anything with 16 millimeter film, like unless you have like a lot of money behind a production, and there's a lot of professionals that still use film today. Like, it's not a dead format, and I love when stuff was filmed on film. Like when I saw Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage, I was really happy to see they filmed the whole thing on super 16 millimeter. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about shooting film in 2025. There's a lot of people who are doing that. They're like content creator, video guys. I'm like an outsider artist living in Austin, Texas. I'm not really I never went to film school. I think I did like one semester at University of North Texas, and there was no fucking talk of film in any of the low-level classes I was doing. I'm filming this on a Blackmagic camera. It looks great. It works awesome. Just get a fucking Blackmagic camera. Just film digital. Like, shoot a movie on your phone. The format, like, you can get all technical and weird about film, shooting on film, but it's expensive. You got to be possessed by the devil incarnate. So I'm just gonna tell you, I got really obsessed with film as a kid, and my grandpa told me to just give up. This is like one of those recipes where you gotta go through the whole person's life story before you learn how to make homemade pasta. So anyways, let's just get to it. This is my camera. I have a 1954 Bolex non-reflex camera. It doesn't even have, normally there's like a viewfinder and there's these smaller lenses you rotate on the turret. I'm not going to really explain how a Bolex works. There's a lot of videos on that. This is sheer mechanical perfection. It's just great. I bought this, and this lens cost me $300. I had to replace this back part of the viewfinder on my Birth Yacht Panson North 1785 zoom lens, which has a focus assist. The 17 to 75 does not. I have one of those. They do not have a focus assist. There's like a black circle in the center. So with this, I can zoom in all the way to 85, the biggest focal length, and focus, and then zoom out, right? And you got to do it for every shot. So that makes it so much easier because I don't need to stand around with a fucking tape measure to make sure everything is in focus. I can see because there's a focusing aid, and I can also see the frame, which was a pain in the ass because when you open this up, like, these things can be crooked. So I had to spin it around, but the focus assist prism would spin with it. So it was a huge pain in the ass to get this thing to be straight on. As my first roll, everything, I was like filming like this because the frame was crooked. So this camera works great. It's all spring wound. You can sync dialogue. You absolutely can sync dialogue with these. It's not going to be like crystal sync. Like you will get like probably like a good, like, maybe if you're lucky, like 5 to 7 seconds of audio will be in sync, which means you just got to go manually and remove spaces between dialogue. This would not work for a music video where anything has to be in sync for more than like a shot that's like 3 or 4 seconds. These things are just spring wound, but they did a very good job in getting it very close to 24 frames per second. Now, as far as film, it's just expensive, dude. Like, I got this for $25 from some guy on Facebook Marketplace. He accused me of stealing his light meter the next day. Fujifilm is like, you're just not gonna find it on eBay. Like, I have another roll, and I thought I was paying for a 400-foot core, but I didn't look closely, so I ended up spending way too much money. Do not spend a ton of money on expired film, because it might not work. You might just get ripped off like I did here, but hey, I got some tungsten F125 film from like 25 years ago. I got this 400-foot core, and the Bolex doesn't take 400 foot. So I went to Home Depot and I made this. And in the dark in the bathroom, I realized I didn't want the film to go against the particle board. So I literally got some toilet paper, plastic, and gaffed it to here. And it worked okay. And you have to load it onto a roll and then put your daylight spool and then roll it back on, because you can't just, you can't roll it directly onto on it, like if it's single perf film. If it's double perf film, you can go directly from a core. There's a lot of videos on how to respool film, but the whiners, I just can't be fucking spending money left and right. I respooled it, and you can buy these from Spectra Video in Los Angeles. They're like $5 each. Daylight spool and container. There you go, and that's in there. Ideally, you know, you'd be buying like some Fresh Vision 3 stock, some 250D. This is expired film. I bought this Acme camera company in Salt Lake City. It had like all this expired Vision 2 and Vision 3, and I like bought like all of it. So if that's not up anymore, it's because of me. Like I bought like 10 rolls of 100-foot rolls of 250D. What else? Yeah, so if you're, like, for instance, if it's a tungsten film, you need to get an 85C filter. Otherwise, everything's going to look like Andy Warhol's Blue Movie. And what else? As far as developing, like, look, if you are loaded, if you're, like, super rich, you got more money than you know what to do with, you can send it to Kodak in Atlanta if you're in the U.S., and you can get your film back like, the next day. Like, they will scan your film, but it's like $160 for a 100-foot roll or something like that. It's very expensive. If you have a professional production, you need the footage back really quickly, you go to like Kodak Lab Atlanta. Nikki Coyle at the Negative Space, she's amazing. I send my film to her. Everybody who's doing this in the US is basically sending it to her because it's $50 to scan at 2K, which is, in my opinion, that's like all I really need. I don't need a 60 gigabyte file for what I'm doing, but if you're trying to film like digital intermediate, yeah, get it like scan at 4K, only costs $5 more. You just have a massive video file. So that's it. And as far as exposure and stuff, dude, like you're kind of on your own. You got to figure that out. I use this app called Light Meter. There's a lot of light meter apps out there, but I can basically take a picture in the app and then set my shutter speed. These things, you need to be aware of the shutter speed on your camera based on your serial number, or the shutter angle, right? The shutter angle on this is 170. Not every Bolex is the same. So I went out by the serial number. There's a website, you got to go to it on a desktop computer, and this is vital to film. Like, you need to know how you're exposing your film. Every single time I filmed, I've had great results. There's a little bit of other stuff, you know, getting double exposures. Here's a clip of some double exposure stuff I did. It's really cool. Like, it's really cool to get a double exposure. There's just so much you can do with this format. It is beautiful and it's worth it to me. But like I said, this is not easy or simple to get into. It's not like Super 8. Just buy a fucking Super 8 camera, get a cartridge, pop it in, and film. This is a little bit different. And I've shot on Super 8 film since I was in high school, like half of my life ago. So, anyways, that's basically it, dude. Like, I'm 30 years old. This is for fun. I don't know how to get into like professional filmmaking. I'm not really interested in moving to Hollywood or being out there. I'm just kind of like a hobbyist, outer filmmaker. Anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. You can get a anamorphic adapter and throw it on the end of your lens only if there's a focus assist. You can also throw like a wide angle adapter. I had to gaff it to the end. The lens I have has a 66 to 67 millimeter thread, but that's kind of useless with my anamorphic adapter, but just because it spins when I'm focusing. So I just had to kind of keep everything at infinite focus, and I was able to get this shot of traffic that's kind of like Office Space. One of my buddies I was talking to last night actually worked on Office Space. He was also in Rushmore, and he was on set in Rome for The Life Aquatic. Really fucking cool dude. He gave me a Wes Anderson book. He lived in Austin with the Wilsons and Wes Anderson. Very cool guy. Shout out to Steve. Very cool dude. I'm getting sidetracked here. You can do some telecine effects, right? You can get telecine out, which is like film out, basically. Where if you say you made like an animated thing, like this title sequence that played at the beginning, get in the dark, point the camera at the screen, and get everything lined up and in focus, and you can actually put digital effects and just put them straight onto film. You're gonna have to do some color correction with all of this stuff. I'd recommend getting it scanned in log and then just like up the contrast, like do a D-log LUT on it, LUT or whatever. I don't know about color grading, but you can hypothetically, like if you wanted to have something be like 3D animated in Blender, this is something I actually want to do. I'm planning on doing it. You can go frame by frame is how I'd recommend doing it, because the spring's not going to sync up with the refresh rate of your monitor. I strongly suggest just going frame by frame and changing the frame in like VLC, and then frame by frame you can go through an animation and film it out. And that's just kind of a cool DIY telescene. That's a very unique effect that I discovered that nobody's fucking doing. Analog Resurgence kind of did that, where they pointed the camera at their laptop screen in the bathroom or whatever. Like, just get a big screen TV. We all have big screen TVs, but you got to be completely in the dark. It's got to be total darkness, and then you got a light meter. This will really only work well on like 200T or 500T, but I'm gonna try it on some 250D. It should be okay. But that way you can get real grain. A thing that drives me fucking crazy with a lot of these video creators, they shoot on 16mm, and I get it. It's too much trouble when you go and you shoot a roll somewhere. You can't really do this. The titles don't have real grain on them. You can get real film grain on your titles by simply pointing it at a TV screen and going frame by frame. Or, I get it, it's too hard, but it's like, I'd love to see somebody do something where every image was captured on film. It just costs a lot of money. Like, it kind of drives me crazy when there's just like digital text over film. Like, put some real grain on that shit. Like, make it real. So, what else? That's basically it, man. Like, good luck.